This episode of Arrays of Living discusses that a new year equals opportunity, and the topic aligns with my Divintastical living guideline. Every new year is an opportunity. And for context, at this point in the season, we will begin to start tuning and turning to some of the Divintastical living guidances, which I now call DLGs, and they are the ones you have grown accustomed to seeing on my social media platforms. They have become conversation starters, and many are now seeking insights for more in depth explanation and mentorship. The DLGs are becoming a movement, and that's reinforced with the fact that Divintastical Living is now an institute offering courses and guidance on virtual and in person. So we are moving and growing, and the movement is becoming stronger. And appropriately, we will be starting from the very beginning, which just happens to coincide with the start of a new year. Go figure. And I'm always excited for a new year. Every year, the first opportunity I immediately give myself is that of a new me through acquired wisdom and growth. I challenge myself to grow, to expand, to become better each day, better each year, better each month. And that wasn't necessarily in the correct order, but you get the point. We always have that opportunity at any point on our life journey, but it is so refreshing, so very refreshing to renew that commitment to self at the opening of a new year. Not from the point of superficial resolutions, but from the point of focused intentions. Because with focused intention, the commitment gets embedded within certainly my goals for any new year, which means when the year actually starts, it becomes a reaffirming of that intention. The intention was set at the tail end of the prior year, but gets reaffirmed going into the new year. And that creates momentum. It creates a certain pace, and you keep going at that pace from the get go. And anyone that's trying to do it after the year starts has a heavier lifting and a slower pace. And sometimes it can be so daunting, which is why when you go in with resolutions that are superficial, they don't go beyond the second week. Now, many, many years ago, I would share an end of year wrap up message that spoke about the year overall. After having spent 4 months reflecting on the year's journey, smart goal setting and visioning, getting to a wrap up was easy. And yet, I stopped giving those summations on my life. One reason is because I wondered of others' actual interest in my going ons, my learnings, my ups and my downs. For me, the wrap up was therapeutic, but for others, perhaps not. Another reason I stopped is because I only reached out once a year at that time and wondered if that was often enough. Notice how I talked myself out of reaching out, how I second guessed all that I was doing. It was all spurned by fear and self doubt, and that had nothing to do with those receiving the wrap up message. It also had nothing to do with the many, many responses I received back, which contradicted my thinking. And still, I ignored that data point and stopped. Stopping was a completely me thing. It had nothing to do with anybody else. It was all about me and how, even though I took a really huge step in summing up my year and sharing certain aspects of it with others that were part of my network of the time, I still managed to step back. How far we can travel. That was my limited mindset then. And thankfully, it ain't so today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It ain't so today. How far we have traveled. And notice when I make those travel statements, I say we because I consider that if you've been following me, you too have grown. And you know that fear for me is stands for face everything and rise, and knows for me stands for next opportunities. And my many ways of communicating outward, such as this podcast, are now continual wrap up moments. So I've landed despite the windy roads and the windy roads and the bumpy roads, and some were smooth. I still landed. But my goodness, how difficult did I make the journey because of my because of my shites? How difficult did I make the journey? And based on how my podcast and other things are going, I can see people are getting something from it because even if it touches one person, it's still a huge thing for me. After all, I could easily have said in my DLG that every day is also an opportunity. I could say that because that is very true as well. For sure, opening our eyes to a new day is a blessing and a privilege we can all appreciate. We know not everyone will get that opportunity for whatever reason. So we must feel blessed, must feel thankful, must feel gratitude when our eyes open and we get to see and live another day. We even have the thankfulness if we can get ourselves out of the bed because some people can't do that. My human experience involves relishing in each waking moment I get, relishing in each step that I take forward with confidence. When I do my walks, I'm thankful that I'm able to do them and do them at a nice pace and get some momentum and speed into my walk. Not everyone can do that. And I see that even on my walk with people walking, having their walkers or their canes or their poles. So I am thankful even during my walk that I'm able to do that because I recognize some will appreciate these things more than others, and those that don't will come to do so when their hardships turn around. Hey, human, let's clap for being human. When our hardships turn around is when we then go, thank you. But when we're going through them, we only see the negative. So, what does all of this have to do with Happy New Year and a new year starting? Because starting a new year is a major cyclical moment. It's like hitting the 12 mark of a clock when the hours change, or bells start to ring, or runners start their sprints based on that gun going off. This is where you come into festive awareness that you can renew to clean up your shites. You can recommit in much bigger way to track to a different trajectory. This is where you can go top down from big granulated dreams and aspirations down to daily and even hourly or even minute by minute steps, goals, aspirations, call them what you want. New year allows you to renew. I have never seen a minute by minute life plan, mind you. However, there's no denying it's possible, and I applaud anyone who is doing a minute by minute life plan. I prefer to do a yearly life plan with checkpoints in between, which was an episode we did on Get Awesome. Our December episodes were about checkpointing and checking in on the plans you have, the goals you've set, the aspirations you have. The new year has started, and I'm here to tell you that anything is possible. We, you and I just have to believe it. We just have to set our intentions, and we just have to do the doing to achieve. Now, for 2021, my intentions going into that year was for growth, and it resulted in experiences related to building. I had to build up my inherent gifts, that the gifts I was blessed with when I was born. In 2022, the intention of magnified reach, another aspect of growth from a different perspective, resulted in experiences related to acceptance. I had to accept so many things, many of them coming from the past, and just as many from the here and now, in order to land on the very foundations I built in 2021. My 2023 word and intent is impact, and I say it more than once: impact, impact, impact. And we'll see at year end what word will describe the experiences striving for impact delivered and what achievements I end up with. The first Divintastical post I'm speaking about: every new year is an opportunity, means that a new year re energizes us to hope and dream and desire things for ourselves. It is renewal to animate the spirit of out with the old and in with the new. And I talked about this on the solstice that occurred in December. Get rid of the old. Get rid of your old habits. Reconcile with your shites. Plant new seeds. And let's bring in new. That's what a new year signifies. I am always amazed at the correlation this tradition of mine highlights between intentions and lived experiences. I can assure you the opening and closing words always demonstrate the power of executing against a plan, having a strategy, and putting tactics in place to go for that strategy. Something we should all be doing because it is opportunity. And opportunity really depends on our mindset. Opportunities cross our path, and we have to be ready to see them for what they are. Missed opportunities is when we are not tuned to recognize them or seize them. I want you to notice the words I'm using: seeing them, tuning, season, mindset. Opportunities are always flowing around and with us. In raising our own frequency, we elevate the opportunities available to us. And still, we have to hold the right mindset to see them and to seize them. Seeing opportunities ties to patterns, coincidences, and all those sort of things we can miss if we are not properly tuned, if we are not having the right mindset, if our thoughts aren't in place correctly, if we're not in tune to them running through our brain and our minds. Opportunities tied to those, to how congruent we are in our mind body relationship. Low frequencies or out of tune with flow means you miss the seeing and hence the opportunities. From my perspective, that means we are the ones that deliver our opportunities our way, and we hold the response ability or ability to respond. What keeps us from those opportunities are the decisions we make. And if you will recall from the podcast Decision Making Beast, even when we choose not to make a decision, it's still a decision not to choose. Recognizing this was freeing for me because I no longer feel or felt obligated to convince people of their opportunities. Yes, I have my word of intention for this year, and that word was only recently chosen. And you know what? It is my word: impact, impact, impact. And it was the final ingredient to close off a season of reflection, a season of thankfulness, a season of celebration, a season of goal setting. My word of intention will guide my journey. It is already guiding my excitement for the year ahead, and it guides my mindset to such a degree that I can reach beyond current day to day circumstances. Reaching beyond does not mean lack of awareness or lack of care. It just means I can stay focused and can compartmentalize current affairs that don't fuel me. Having intentions means you don't need these distractions, nor do you need January only resolutions that set you up for self berating disappointment before February even starts. This podcast is encouraging you to find your new year intention. You can do it like me in the form of one word. I guarantee it works and it works beautifully. But you can choose another way to do it and to set your intentions. At the end of the day, the intentions need to serve as the beacon for what you hope to get done in the year. A new year is today, tomorrow, and every day going forward until we reach 365 of them. A new year is giving us 525,600 total minutes to maximize the best way we can. We speak a lot about not wasting things and innovating even more things. I remember when recycling programs didn't exist. Now they're plentiful, and we're pressured to do our part for the environment. The irony is that our life is something we were given, gifted, really. Does it not deserve its own anti waste program? Should we all not do our part for living it fully? As the first of the year passed, I recommitted to curb any tendency to waste. I will not waste time. I will not waste things. I will not waste days. And I certainly will not waste the 525,600 minutes I've been given. I want to treasure whatever time I'm blessed to spend in my human experience. I want to be engulfed with like minded people who care about, support, and embrace my intentions. And I want the same for you. I want my writings and actions to influence myself and others to live more substantial, meaningful, and caring lives. Divine-tastical living. Hashtag divine-tastical living. Becoming the artisan of your life. Doing so means consciously eliminating negativity and superficiality from your personal space. It means unapologetically setting zero tolerance boundaries that you value. It means living every day fully, not wasting anything. It's our own anti waste program, and it's a movement and it's picking up. And by God, in 2023, people will know divine tastical living. People will get it. People will crave for it. People will move for it. In this new year, we all have a potential worth exploring and growing. We can spend our energy on the things that don't move anything for us or others, or we can choose to put effort into the things and people that fulfill us. You have choice in actions, and the decision on approach is entirely yours. The energy you expend is yours. The rewards you reap are yours, whether plentiful or not. What we cannot get away from is that our one life has a kill switch. And like my friend Coach Katie says, I intend to go out on a slide, laughing like a child out the way I came into this world, laughing and giggling and just being roughed up in everything because I lived it fully. And I have no regrets, and I've done it, and I've left, and everybody knows I was here. That's how I intend to go. That motivates me to ensure I leave something meaningful behind, and that my time had relevance and impact. I always refer to the Beyonce song that states I was here. We should all want people to know that. And more importantly, to know we stood for something. In 2022, we lost so many souls spanning all ages. We really did. Twitch being the most recent one that I can recall, but there's been others even since Twitch. In this year, find your way to live exponentially. There is no time for procrastination. If you're hurting and you're in pain, reach out. Whether it's to me or to someone that you trust, that you know got your back, reach out. The world is moving at such a speed that any deference will see you missing a lot of essential things and opportunities. There's the phrase, pay yourself first. And that's an encouragement of financial advisor. And in this moment, the question becomes, what do we owe ourselves? If you are like me, you have built up universal credit pertaining to love, compassion, what I call grace, latitude to dream big, financial and spiritual wealth, good health, fairness, and opportunity. And in order to collect on those credits, we must act a certain way, think a certain way, and expend our energy in certain ways that results in cultivating self-love, self-understanding, self-visioning, self-funding, self-belief, and self-actualization. Yes, there will be people and circumstances trying to beat you down, but we must all persevere towards our intentions. We owe ourselves that vigilance because we are worthy of more. Each year, we should aim for a newer version of ourselves. That can be attained by learning something new, doing something different, exploring something new, trying something diverse, expanding our perspectives, or even changing our routine in some way. A better world and a better person starts with us. It lands squarely at our feet, which is why many things are contingent on majority voting outcomes. Serving ourselves in this way is all about growth of our mindset, our associations, and our experiences. A new year gives us the opportunity to refresh who we are, explore who we can be, and celebrate the journey. Every new year equals opportunity. Let this year be your best year ever. Let each of its days be your time to get more from life and to power up for growth in yourself, your career, and or your business. Remember, we are living to build a life that reflects all of who we are. Doing so requires us to think differently, act differently, structure differently, and aim to achieve different but greater outcomes. It isn't about being easy. It is, however, about necessity to have no regrets, no wastage, and leave behind a spiritual legacy. One of the major keys is attracting the needed level of opportunities and seeing them so they can be seized. That is each of our response ability or ability to respond. How serious are you taking that? Your year depends upon your answer to this question. And if you need help with any of that, reach out using the links in the description. I thank you for listening and have an amazing year. Thank you for listening to this episode of Arrays of Living. And please be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You will also find in the description below my email address should you want to reach out, and I am happy if you do. And just to be sure, it's jen@youareworthmore.co, and worth more you definitely are. And lastly, also see the link that will allow you to schedule a meet and greet with me. And that's an opportunity for me to meet you and you to meet me and for us to have a chat. And that would be wonderful and welcoming. So please hit the link and let's set up a meet and greet.